Hello and welcome. We are Team GPT and we are presenting to you our app, Consensus. We will now introduce themselves. So, hi, I'm Paul. I was a painter and decorator for over 20 years. I was not happy in my job, didn't feel fulfilled, which has led me to be here now doing School of Code, and I look forward to starting every day.
Hi, I'm George. I recently graduated from uni studying biology, but I decided to change direction and learn to code, and I haven't looked back.
Hi, I'm Dave, a former data analyst and graphic designer, and I'm loving discovering the power of coding through School of Code.
Hi, I'm Mia. I worked part-time in a pub and I love to problem solve and be creative. This led me to tech with its area to create and connect.
Hi, I'm Tamina, a liaison officer and an all-round creative who wants to find a design role in tech.
Hi, I'm Roberto, a musician and plumber, and after a series of unlikely events, I discovered my latent passion for coding.
Thanks, everybody. Yeah, so now I'll talk a little bit about how we got started in our project. So we start by defining our manifesto, making sure that we would be working in a safe and overall productive environment. A key point in our manifesto is stating what skills we were good at and what we would like to expand on. And as you can see, we came up with a rotation strategy to help each other build on these skills. Within our project management, we used a variety of tools, Trello being our main source of keeping track of the project. Once the project started, we would do regular morning stand-ups and daily retros where we would meet at 4 p.m. every day to merge any work that had been done through Git and resolve any conflicts or issues we had before we deployed to Netlify. After we created our manifesto, we started digging into problems we could solve, and out of the many problems we brainstormed, a few stuck out to us. So we started the process of thinking more deeply about these. After this, we created some user research forms, and using this information, we formed our problem statement that George will now take you through.
Have you or your friends ever argued for hours deciding on where to go for a night out? Are you fed up of wasting time and energy? Do you want that decision made for you in a fun, quick, and simple way? Then this app is for you. So once we created our problem statement, we then conducted some more user research. This helped us establish three key things. A, that people like the project. B, what things people take into account when making decisions, and C, how people usually come to a group decision is awkward and unfair. Following on from this, we created some user personas and stories to establish three main users of the app. So corporate, so picture you're being tasked by your boss to organize a social event for your work team, a large social group, and also the solo user as well. Moving on from this, we then just developed a set of user stories and use cases that really helped us narrow down on the problem. And then we thought about how our app would go about solving them. So for example, users need ideas about what possible activities could be done, e.g. museum or cinema, while our app provides initial responses, initial prompts to help the user make a quick decision. I will now pass over to Roberto.
Hi, yes, so now I'll take us through a demo of the app. So this is our app Consensus, which aims to solve the problem statement by allowing a group of users to vote on their desired criteria and then letting the app pick the final result. It's a super simple, straightforward app. We also have a help page just in case to give instructions how to use it. But now I'll take you through the group mode. So basically we'll select group mode. We have an option to create or join. In this instance, we're going to create a group. We're presented with a pre-filter page before we start, and then we have a required field, which is location, and then some optional fields, including budget, dietary requirements, and wheelchair accessibility. To make the group super easy, just write your name and your group name. So in this case, GPT, and that's going to take us to a lobby page. So in this page, it just shows you who's in the group, and we have a group ID, a unique ID that's made to share with friends so that then they're able to join via the join group page. So we're just going to wait for everyone to enter the room. Cool, all the GPT are in. So now we can start voting. So first round will just be an activity round. MVP only going to have 3 activities to choose from, but furthering this, we could probably have a few more activities. So let's go on the restaurant path. Well, assuming everyone's voted restaurant, which they have, excellent conduct. Cool. So next, then we're going to pick a time. So let's say lunchtime. Everyone agrees. Yep, so the results are coming in real time. Let's have an atmosphere. It's been nice and warm. Let's go outdoor. So we can't progress until everyone's voted. So that stops anyone from just racing through the app and getting a different result. So it looks like family friendly is the consensus in this instance. Pick a cuisine type, so that's quite straightforward. I like a Thai. I like a Thai. But I'm happy to go with the group, which happens to be Mexican, so that's fine. And then finally, a dining experience. So I like casual dining, nothing too fancy for me. Cool, and casual wins, excellent. So finally, we're presented with the final result, which will give us a place to go that kind of fulfills the criteria that everyone's decided upon. So we've got an address, phone number, user rating, and just a link so we know where to go. Quickly take you through the solo mode, exactly the same, free filter. Pick a restaurant. The only thing different, we don't have the results page. So it just takes it straight through. I fancy a snack. Looks like I'm going to Greg's. Cool. So I'm going to pass you over to Tamina with the seamless Spielberg-esque transition.
Yep, so let's run through our design process. As you can see, our lo-fi wireframes are here. We aim to have a balanced layout with a mixture of consistently used rounded components and negative space, keeping it quite fresh but also joyful with the round shapes. We next have our ideation board, where agile working was encouraged and implemented through real-time collaboration. There was adaptive planning and incremental development and improvement. We then considered our colors and color schemes. Color contrast was a priority for us, as our content needs to be readable. And with color symbolism in mind, we also designed for a broad and diverse audience. So fun pastel shades were a good choice for us, as it's a very universally liked palette. We did also consider color psychology, as we could utilize the pastel theme to help set the tone to a soft and calming environment, which is crucial for what would normally be a very high stress situation when you're fighting with your friends to choose where to go. The next slide has our different iterations of our high fidelity wireframes. We can see also how visual hierarchy plays a big part as our intuitively designed app runs. And then we have our logo design, where we wanted to create something that conveyed our story and values. So as you can see, the shaking hands convey agreement amongst a sea of chaos and disagreement. We also did accommodate users of assistive technologies. So we did reinforce a responsive design for seamless transition between different devices. And now David will follow on with accessibility.
Yeah, so accessibility is obviously very important to us. We needed to make sure that everyone would be able to use our app. So we used tools like Lighthouse, WebAIM, and Audit, which identified some areas of improvement, including the example here where we had to increase the contrast of our colour scheme a little bit to help those with colour blindness. We also considered changes including the alt text, the role attributes, and the structure to make it easier for screen readers to interpret. A couple more things we looked at for accessibility was the prefers reduced motion CSS. You can see a screenshot there. This is something that will be set in the user's browser settings. If they have conditions such as autism, ADHD, or vestibular conditions, they can set that, and that will stop all animations, including button animations, on our website. With regards to our tech stack, we used React for the front end and Supabase for the back end, as we were familiar with both of them from doing the course. We also have a serverless function written in JavaScript, which acts as a kind of middleman, does some data processing and amalgamation before sending the data back to the users. Our database structure can be seen here in our ERD. We had some tables to hold the groups, users, and votes, which are generally temporary at the moment. And we also have our venues table, which needed a lot of attributes to filter on different things as we go through the different paths. So we use Supabase because it had enough data and bandwidth for our needs. It was free, simple methods to call it within React. And the refresh pages, such as the lobby or the votes, are handled with calls to that serverless function. So Mia's now going to talk to you a little bit about testing.
We made a few testing pages for our project. With the ones on the page, these are from the pre-filter and the homepage test pages. The pre-filter test was to check whether on the input form for the location, the button for the next page, the next button for that page would work if that something hadn't been input into it, such as a location, a string, anything. And the homepage test was to check links of the buttons on the pages have been going to the right locations and the code is accurate with its links. On the next page, we have our what went well and challenges of that. The resolvement of disagreements within our user research base idea is we thought whether for the pre-filter page, the voting would work best being only one person and the one person then sits the whole thing for the group, or whether the group would vote on whether they need different things in the pre-filter page. And this areas of resolvement help to build a functional MVP. And our challenges, onboarding team members of previous days' work when they wanted to join into something such as testing, such as building on Superbase or front end. We had to make sure that they understood the code and previous thought tracks of what we had done earlier in the week or the day before. And that helped with bringing all things together for our future vision, such as what we've planned to do if we have a bit more time. The use of APIs for real data and based on geolocation links to real places will be very interesting to have, as our database and Superbase is currently fabricated from just general place ideas. And the user account logins would be very helpful for showing what people favor in location-wise, such as a museum or a restaurant. And then thank you for listening.